elective surgery, cosmic bolts, the emergence, brain of eternal, hands on my time, impossible prince can God watch you step in the mind, soul triggers, power holy divine righteousness, combined with courage, love of essence. Don't let trauma bind and block your blessings. When you behind the veil, you hear the confession, give you limitation, corruption, fear, deception. This the age of knowing, evolution and resurrection. Welcome back to another episode of Talk That Crack. Today we're going to have a great conversation today. I'm joined here with some wonderful ladies today, and we're going to extend the conversation we had last week when it came to Indigenous man, remember? Silent emotional wars. And we always going to talk about, do men afraid of love? Now we're going to switch that over today, and we're going to talk about Indigenous woman, remember? Silent emotional wars, and are women afraid of love? So before we even get started, ladies, could y'all introduce yourself, tell them a little bit about you, where they can find you at on social media or anything that you have going on?
Not everybody at once. But anyway, how y'all doing today? My name is Diamond. Sorry, that was a lot. It's the echo. I'm gonna go outside.
Just hold on a second. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. And while we're going through that, can we go to Tabella? Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Can't hear you. Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I couldn't hear you for a second. All right. Queen Chai, tell me a little bit about yourself. Why can't I hear you?
I hear me still?
I can hear you now. Go ahead. I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Again, my name is Chai. I am originally from up north Connecticut. I've been living down here in the South for a little over 10 years. I am a mother of three. I am an artist. I am an empath. I am a lover of all knowledge. And I'm just excited to be here tonight for this conversation.
Excellent. Miss Sigma Uno.
Hello, everybody. I'm Miss Sigma Uno, aka Lene. I come from where I reign from, Washington State, where I am known more for a peer support, a youth advisor. Um, I enjoy helping people get to where they're trying to go. That's what I enjoy doing the most.
And Diamond, you made it back?
Nope.
Nope, she didn't make it back yet.
Not yet.
All right, well, we're going to continue on until she chime back in, and we're going to go on with our conversation. So tonight, I'm really excited about tonight's conversation, and I want to start off with Indigenous woman, remember. Now, when y'all hear Indigenous woman, remember, because I know y'all see so many things. Hold on one second. At the stage. Can you hear me, Diamond?
Yes, I can.
All right. Hold on. We're going to go back to a little introduction. And go ahead, tell me a little bit about yourself right back.
Hi, my name is Diamond. South Carolina. I do tarot readings, energy readings. You can find me on IG or TikTok under Divine Kalima Readings. I am always here to help others, motivate others, and heal others. So if you need me, find me there. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome, 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 awesome. All right. So we're gonna get right down into it, and we're gonna talk about this indigenous woman. Remember. So I'm really just gonna ask the question. I'm gonna sit back. So indigenous woman, remember. Who would like to go first and have a little conversation on indigenous woman? Remember.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. Let's do this first.
Maybe we'll do that.
He did that real smooth.
Real smooth, because I knew it was coming. For me, Indigenous women, remember, um, for me, that's something I'm learning myself right now. Because how I grew up, that was not something that was really presented to me. It was more of being kind of in the world and learning the things that we learned as far as moving through our days. For me now, when I hear that word, it is more speaking of the path that I am on right now when it comes to healing myself, the things I'm learning about being an empath, the journey that I've been going on for quite some time when it comes to healing and the knowledge that I have been gaining from different books, different people, and really just understanding spirit, which is something that is becoming really major in my life right now. So it has a lot of meanings when we say Indigenous woman.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. 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 Diamond, you want to go next?
Sure. Indigenous woman remember. So when I say that line, it takes me back to the times that we don't remember. Um,
Mm.
it takes me back to the time where we were a community, where we as sisters and women actually came together and talked. We actually came together and build. We were a community. The indigenous woman, we actually had practices and practice things together, or ritualistically, that put us ahead as a people because we're the first teachers. So when I hear indigenous woman remember, it speaks to my soul because I'm in, like Chai said, I'm in that place where I'm learning these things about myself. Because no, I wasn't raised like that. I live in America. I don't know if any man or woman is raised, for the most part, understanding what their heritage is and understanding who they are. So when I hear that, it speaks volumes because it's a path that I'm learning to walk myself every day, to be in, to walk in my truth. And at certain times, that line has to be remembered for my own, to bring me back in line, to put me back grounded where I am and I'm transitioning from. So, hearing the term indigenous woman remember, it opens it opens so many doors that is being shared right now on social media and things like this, like we're on a podcast, because we're awakening that light within us to shine again as a woman, because we've been so forced, and I say forced because we've been forced to be independent. We've been forced to do everything on our own in a society that that pushes women to be independent of the man. And as indigenous women, we weren't independent. We were a community. We backed our men. We supported our men. We supported each other. So hearing that indigenous woman remember, that's what it takes me to.
Awesome. 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 You know,
Yeah, back in.
Come, Miss Sigmund Uno dip. Oh, she coming back.
Where'd she go?
what happened?
Where'd she go?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I hope she come on back. I hope she come on back. But anywho, maybe
Come
she
back.
had some technical difficulties or something, and we'll find out here in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
Just a
few minutes. But anywho, so what I'm hearing for the both of y'all, when y'all hear Indigenous woman remember, y'all are going through things right now in your life where at one time you didn't know and now you're remembering. What's the thing that hits you the most now as an Indigenous woman remembering? What's the thing that hits you the most?
Mm. Honestly, what Diamond said, uh, the real sense of loss of village that we have had. There has been a forcing of women to be independent, and you see that every single where you go, no matter if you like it or not. And even if you don't like it, it's so much forced upon you, you become independent.
Wow.
So some women like myself, I came from village. I grew to be super independent, but I still understand the value of village. But in ways, I'm learning how to be in a village. I'm understanding what is my place inside the village and understanding that I'm inside my village.
For me, I can say the thing that sticks out right now for me is being aware of how much we really don't know ourselves and the power that we hold.
That part.
So that it sticks out every day that I go out into the world because either we pop blocking and dropping it on Snapchat or Instagram, or we sitting up here talking about we woke and ain't woke about nothing.
Mm.
So that's one thing learning right now, and to be centered in yourself to where that doesn't shake you just because somebody doesn't know who they are. You have compassion, you have understanding, like, okay, sister, I see you, you don't see yourself yet, but I see you, and I refuse to go down that rabbit hole that you decide to go down. So that's where it's for me.
Cool, cool. I mean, that's awesome. So what y'all saying is a thing that y'all realizing now about being an Indigenous woman is something that we lack in the community because both of y'all said the community was real strong when it comes to understanding and remembering that of an Indigenous woman. Do you think that the women today want to remember of being an Indigenous woman?
I will say that's a yes and a no. There are women
Okay.
out here that do want to know, and there are definitely women that are comfortable with being where they are. And it doesn't matter what. Just met a lady that was over 60 yesterday. She looked like she was about 18. So, but that's not to knock her either. That's the path that she's on. But there are women out here who really do want that sense of community. They do want to have that place where they feel safe, where they can build with other women, where they can build with other men, quite honestly. But they may not really know where to get that at. Oh,
What happened? She just
Popped
came
in
on
and then she
stage and then she
popped out.
dropped
It
off.
might be
maybe
it
just
might be
with
her
that.
internet or something.
Uh,
No,
listen, it's always with Mr. and Mrs. Sigma Uno when it comes to Wi-Fi and just getting
that's
on.
it.
Good God, we got to go through some things. That's when you know they be about to drop some on your ass. But anywho, so with that being said, yes and no. Diamond, you wanted to add anything to that?
I mean, I agree with the yes and the no. I do honestly see, and since there's a lot of women out there that are seeking and yearning for that path within themselves, and then you definitely got a lot of women that are just comfortable in the cycles of repetition that they create for themselves. They don't want to see anything different. There are certain women that when you get, when a lot of us, when we get sick and tired, is when we get sick and tired. Because I know that's the thing for me, is when I get sick and tired, then I want to move. But everybody tolerance is different to the point where some of us as women, we tend to carry things for a long time, and it weighs on us. So then we get so comfortable in that cycle that when you do have that peak of change, or you get that That snap, oh man, I could do something different. You end up getting stuck in that same cycle. So that's, I will say, again, the yeah and a no, because there are people out here that don't care to know, don't want to know. And then there's women out here that are seeking and looking. We out here.
All right, Miss Sigma Uno, we can come back to you because we missed your beginning stage as far as Indigenous women remember. How would you say about that?
Um, I guess Indigenous women remember for me isn't necessarily remember. Um,
Okay.
I I have a unique. I am finding a unique perspective on not only Indigenous but a woman's position and role, if it is in fact a actual gender role. Um, because I was exposed to multiple generations of my family at once, dating back to slavery and sharecropping, all the way to um, civil rights movements, women's rights movements. I was exposed to people that were in all of those different time frames, to literally all at once. Um, I try to remind women, especially ones that I'm exposed to, that it's not necessarily a role that you're locked into, but you want to be something that you want reciprocated to you. So if you want support, you need to give support. If you want love, you've got to give love. If you want that embrace, you want these different things, that's something that you've got to emulate. You can't just expect somebody to give to you when you're not giving anything in return.
Preach.
um, I'm not sure where to go from there.
Okay. Also, we talked about that. Are some ladies today, as women, do they even want to be and remember being an Indigenous woman? What that really meant, what it represented? Do you think women today do want to remember of being an Indigenous woman?
I think a lot of women would like to get back to that place, because in that place, life, if it was life in, it was way easier because it was
Life be
spread
life.
out. If your kids was acting up, they was getting taken care of at the point of their act up, on their way from their act up, and when they got home. So you wouldn't have to worry about that act up no more, because by the time they got to you, they don't want to hear about it. You don't want to hear about it. You really don't have to deal with it. But the thing always rings in my mind: just wait till your father gets home. It doesn't matter if Miss Mabel got you down the road and Mr. Johnson caught you on the corner on the way home because he heard what you did. So I mean, going back to community, going back to roles in general, I wouldn't even necessarily call them roles. They're just positions that need to be filled. Some people are good at one thing and not good at another. One plants, another one waters, everybody gets the increase.
Agreed, agreed, agreed. So y'all all are saying the same thing as far as the women, as like the men, we lack the community. So what could we do as sisters and brothers to build a community together? What could we do?
Heal.
Carefully select your neighbor. Carefully
Okay.
select your neighbor. Everybody can't be your neighbor.
No.
Mm, okay.
And just to
Anyone else?
piggyback on what she said, no, everybody can't be your neighbor. Everybody is not your friend. When I say heal, I mean heal to the point where you can use spiritual discernment to know who's for you and who is not for you. That is a task, and that is not even a task. That is a importancy for you to understand spiritual discernment. Because if you have that, you always know who's in your corner, who's not in your corner. Now that's not to say that you won't have experiences where you needed to have them to get you to the
Mhm.
next space. But now, 9 times out of 10, spirit doesn't have you go through anything that you don't need to experience. But spiritual discernment is key. It's key, guys.
It's key. It's key. Anything else? Anyone else?
There is nothing else to say. Spiritual
She said ain't
discernment.
nothing else to say. Well, if it ain't nothing else to say, I know that this right here will be a kicker for sure. We're gonna be talking about silent emotional wars. So when y'all hear the phrase silent emotional wars, and I know we all have gone through things in life. We're all adults. We have kids. We have parents, and so we have siblings. So we've seen a lot. So when they go to silent emotional wars, how does that affect you in your life?
Piss poor planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on mine. I
Okay.
did boundaries. You learn boundaries real quick, especially when you're dealing with emotions and not yourself, but people around you. And when people are dependent upon you, when you have children, when you have elderly family members, when things happen, you learn real quick to plan yourself ahead enough that if anything transpires in between there, that you have the ability to pick up the pieces and keep pushing no matter what happens. Because if you know you're accountable for everything at the end of the day, you know that you got to schedule everything that needs to happen accordingly. Should it be that way? Oh no, but that's our suffrage. Our suffrage is now we're accountable for things that we probably shouldn't be accountable for because people just left the bag sitting on the road. Didn't say nothing, didn't say they couldn't do their part. They just left the bag sitting there. So now you're picking up bags along your way that weren't necessarily your responsibility. But you got this because in the end, everybody's looking at you to make sure everything's okay.
Mm. Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
bags
So
on the road.
just
There know
just
going to be the bags on the road. And you might be a bag on the road for somebody, and that's something you got to understand as well.
Say that one
And
more time.
you might be a bag on the road for somebody, and you have to understand that as well. And
Mm.
like I said, it's all the things in between. You got this. Because no, it's not fair, but at the same time, into what Diamond said, it really is about healing and having that discernment. And that's not going to be easy either. You're going to be out here raising children and you're going to be affecting other people's lives. You have to do what you need to do for yourself first because that's really what matters at the end of the day. And the
Mm.
silence sometimes becomes way more louder than you think. The dishonor silence is loud and you become a bag. And you're a bag for yourself, you're a bag for your children, you're a bag for the people around you. So what is it you're going to do? How is it going to move you and how is it that they're going to be better?
Mm.
Here, these type of things, for me, this is what it is being able to have the conversations because everybody does not have that space. And for me, myself, I would have never I would even be up here on this platform, even speaking with women, because I have to stay in tune. So for me, right here, this is the lead. So I appreciate it. And I hear y'all, and I hope y'all hear me.
we hear you. Sound a little muffled, but we hear you though.
Yeah, you
Uh-oh.
sound a little muffled.
But we hear you though. We hear you.
I'm here. I'm here.
All right, so again, this as both of the ladies said. Miss Sigma Uno literally went through the silent emotional wars of 99% of women today, which they always pick up a bag and keep it moving. Either picking up the bag for the children, either picking up the bag for the husband, either picking up the bag for somebody in the family, either picking up the bag for somebody they work with or they friends with. So, one thing is women, we really have to understand that every bag don't have to get picked up. Yeah. Erica
Oh yeah.
Badu said it herself. Bag lady, leave some of them bags.
Mhm.
You
Leave
gonna
them
miss your
bags.
bus. You gonna miss your bus.
Karen
Carrying
was
all them bags
about them
like
bags.
that.
Leave them
Yes.
bags right there. And I only can say that is because and that goes with having conversations with certain people too. Sometimes you gotta leave that phone and let that sucker ring because sometimes just a phone conversation, somebody just dumped their whole bag on you. Now you talking about, dang, why I feel so bad now because they just dumped their bag of shit on you. Welcome,
Yeah.
welcome.
And I guess the real struggle in that is finding that time while you picking up all these pieces to make sure you got yourself, make sure your mind is straight. Self care. I
Number one.
mean, Reading is a wonderful thing. Meditation is a wonderful thing. If you can't make out the time to do those things yourself, for not, if you can't do nothing else, go
Do
sit
them
in the
too.
pedicure chair. Go sit, because you can't do nothing with somebody working on your feet. You can't go nowhere. You can't go nowhere. Somebody's
Right.
working on your hands, and you look
Yeah.
cute when they done it. I'm
Yep.
just. I mean, if you cannot figure out how to do that on your own, lock yourself into something that requires you to sit.
Right.
Just sit there
A lot of
unless
people
you get one that like to
take
talk
it.
to you.
I was just piggybacking on what you said. Anytime that you find that moment, because even in the bathroom, some people take them long times in there. That's your moment. Because
No,
the
not if you got
bathroom, your
children.
room.
Not if you got children.
You right, because I got one that follows me.
Check. Check.
Yeah, he follows me. You right. Well, as she said, go find somewhere. It might
The
not be the
bathroom
Yeah.
used to be
bathroom.
a place of solace.
Yeah, it used to
Do
be.
you do y'all think that women today take it serious enough to take time for themselves in order to
Not until
heal,
it's
in
too
order
late.
to no?
Not until it's too late.
Okay.
Every woman that has ever sincerely taken care of themselves and make that time purposely has had a crash and burn moment.
Mm.
Yeah.
They've either had that crash and burn moment or they watched a catastrophic crash and burn. And they
Moment, and
see where that could have been averted. Whoa, that will not be me.
Mm.
Yeah.
most definitely.
Most
I've had
definitely.
a
I've lived that. So I can
so
attest to that.
I had that burn moment to the point where it was either you see yourself or you won't be welcome. So I definitely in that part of we're not going to take the time. We're going to either watch it or we're going to be forced to do it. And that is something that is for me right now is really taking that time is for a few the read it meditation most definitely has been the biggest thing for me. And I love to take walks, so I'm gonna be outside in the sun at some
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyone else got anything to add on?
This I do want to add about silent emotional wars because I know you're probably about to go to the next slide, the next section.
No, we
We
good.
still, we still,
Go,
we
go
still.
wherever you want to
Okay.
go.
I was just like,
Go wherever you want to go.
as women, like we really done share. Take care of yourself, find some time to read, meditate, but also you have to in those three things. And when you're sitting with yourself and you're really looking at yourself in the mirror, do mirror work. Look at yourself in the mirror. Love yourself. If he the one
Mm.
who my dad gave me that long time ago, years ago, and I swear to God, it took like literally 9 years for me to do it because I did not like looking in the mirror. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with because a lot of us don't like looking in the mirror. We like looking in the mirror to get pretty, but not really looking in the mirror to look at ourselves and to really accept ourselves. Like you're not your mother, you're not your father, you're not your family that did you wrong, your grandma. You're not them. And I think a lot of us
Mm.
as women, we carry the traits from great grandma, grandma, and mama them, and then we come to an adult and we like, well, dang, how do I pick up the pieces? How do I put this together? Because we haven't sat with ourselves and actually accepted who we are right here, right now. Yeah, you healing. Yeah, you the goddess, and you the queen of all, and whatever you want to put on yourself. But if you don't accept who you are right now, how are you gonna get there? So, and that's self care. That's a part of self care and that meditation. That's a part of that ritual. When you reading about you. It's everything you're doing is opening up things to you. And even when your child piss you off, that's a awakening moment for you. It don't feel like it at the moment in time, but it's a awakening moment for you. Let me tell you why. Because your child is the mirror to the issue that you did not want to deal with or work on when you had the opportunity. So, universe gave you a child. Here you go. And you're gonna work on it. So here you go.
Yeah, that's real. That statement is so real that if I had them available to you right now, I would show you.
Yeah.
I am literally the spitting image of my mother.
Mm.
Literally. If
I
you put a
understand.
picture of us side by side and we're wearing the same outfit, you would not know who was who.
Oh,
Wow.
that's real
You would
emotional.
not.
Wow.
You will not. Mm-mm. Not at all. Not at all. To the point where my mom died in 2013. When I would go out in public, certain places, and
Body by
people that went to school with my mother or were familiar with my family, I would go to the grocery store and people would walk up to me crying and hug me.
Wow.
They would
Wow.
literally call me my mother's name. I had people who just would not accept the fact that she had died, would call me her name and proceed to have conversations with me. I'm like,
Whoa.
I did not graduate in 1975 with you. I was
Right.
born in 1975, but I'm gonna let you have this conversation.
I'm gonna let you have
I'm
it.
gonna let you have this conversation because this is
Right.
something that you need to have. You know what I'm saying? And then I mean, I was made very aware of all the things that she could have done different, things that my grandparents wish she had done better. They lined me up to fix all the mistakes that she had made, from education to employment to all of that. My grandparents set me up to these things don't need to happen again. We're gonna erase all the mistakes that could possibly be made before they're made, and we're gonna pick up from there. You're gonna learn from
Mm.
the mistakes you didn't have to make.
Yep.
So in that
Wow.
instance, I definitely had a foot up. Now, and my infinite wisdom, Lord help me, Jesus. I gave birth to myself, and I gave birth to their father.
Ooh.
Literally, literally.
Ooh.
If Naya was to get fat, this is what she would look like. Okay, there's no question. There's no our baby pictures of me and Naya side by side. If you didn't see the difference in the paper, the photo paper, you wouldn't know who was me and who was her.
That's right.
You couldn't do it, right?
No lie.
Mhm.
No lie.
So again, with the way I was raised, I was like, okay, these are all of the mistakes that were made. These are the things that we can avoid. I'm gonna set you up like I was set up to avoid all the mistakes that my mama made, all the mistakes my grandmama made, and we gonna learn from the sharecropping and slavery and civil rights and all of this stuff. I'm gonna give you all of these pieces, right? And then I'm
Mm.
gonna drop you in an all-white school.
Woo.
Okay, because at least it was a public school. They dropped me in a Catholic school. Okay, I at
Whoa.
least put them in public school, but it was an all-white school. So, so they had the same challenges, but they literally had the book. Okay,
Mm.
these is the instructions. This is how you're gonna come out on top. Okay,
Mm.
in order for us to not continue to repeat cycles, we have got to give our kids all the information we have to date so they don't have to go back and relearn the same stuff. They're going to
Right.
make mistakes. They're going to make mistakes, but let them not be the same mistakes that you made. Let them not be the same mistakes that your mama and them made. Because the consequences of the mistakes that we made and our grandparents made, the consequences now are so great. They're greater now than they were back then. To the
Mhm.
extent of jail times, to the extent of it's just catastrophic. The simplest mistake now. We could have again. We took a bikini picture in high school that went as far as the duplicates of the Kodak film that was made, and if the negatives made it anywhere, that was the end of that. Right? These kids nowadays have Instagram, Facebook, X, Twitter, all of this. Once that photo is out there,
Oh,
It's
it's out
out there.
it's out there. There's no taking it back, no getting rid of the negatives, no there's nothing. Which now affects them getting into colleges,
there. Yeah.
affects them getting jobs, it affects where they live because places that apartment complexes and even I'm finding out HOAs are looking at social medias to decide whether or not they want you to live in their neighborhood. It doesn't matter if you can afford it.
Mm.
If you don't look like if you don't fit in their little stereotype, you will not fit in that home. As much as you could pay for it, get into it, all your furniture will fit, your body won't be in it. They will do whatever they need to do to see to that.
I know that's
So
right.
you need to make sure that, and you can't just tell them. Just telling kids things nowadays just don't work.
No, that's not.
I gave them. Look, I say this often, especially since I deal with youth on a regular basis. When my kids got to high school, that first party of the year, everybody wants to go because everybody's invited. It's going to be the biggest thing ever. I have to go. My answer was no. These things are going to happen A, B, C, or D, all of which are going to be catastrophic to you going to college. Everything at this point goes on your permanent record. Okay? Now, if none of these things happen, you can go to every party for the rest of the school year. I doubled down on it. You can go to all the parties. Knock yourself out. They went back to school that Monday. Folks were getting called in the office. Social media stuff was getting pulled. People was getting suspended, expelled. Parents were getting called into the office. I was like, and you wanted to be there? I have no problem with you mingling with your friends. I have no problem with you hanging out with your friends, but there's some things that are not going to happen. And this is why. And they were like, cool. I only had to go through maybe 2 or 3 of those instances with my kids to the point where they were like, okay, this is what we're thinking about doing. This is what we would like to do. What are the ramifications of it? You get to
Yeah.
the point where now your kids are thinking ahead because now they know that there's consequences outside of just me. You being the consequence isn't a big deal for your kids.
No, I
Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and Lord knows the government put their foot in that, Mr. 1-800 CPS or whatever number they gave them back in the late '80s, early '90s. But my parents were very open about that one. You can call CPS if you want to. I'll be done with you by the time they get here, and they'll be taking you and not me. So whatever you can fit in that little bag is what you take with you. But I'm gonna have at least 30 days to myself.
I know that's
Enjoy.
right. No.
Is that something
Well, you
harsh
know,
to
you
say?
you,
You
you
have to
going
say
in.
that to
That's
your
real. That's
kids.
real.
You know
That's
what I'm
real.
saying? You don't want to have to say
But
that to your
listen,
kid, but that's reality. Because now
it
they
is.
think
It
they
is.
got some kind of hold on you. These kids really believe they got their parents in check, like they got some kind of get out of jail free card or
Okay.
something.
Come on back,
That's
Miss Sigmundo. Come on back.
you,
Come on back.
you ain't got
Come
no
on back.
get out of
Take a
jail
breather.
free card.
Come on back. Take a breather. Come on back. Take a breather.
you on fire,
Take a breather.
man.
Take a breather. Fire. That what happen when she go in. They go fire. We ain't playing no game. So let me ask a question, ladies. Do you think that there's no trust in a sisterhood anymore, or there's just a lack of bonding? Like what you think is happening with the sisterhood? Diamond?
Okay. We talk about the sisterhood. There's no loyalty there's no loyalty with the men.
Mm,
One
mm,
particular time and back in the day, and I'm not even in that generation, but these two ladies are to where you go back in the day when you had conversations with the one you called that was loyal that you locked in with, y'all was locked in. When y'all said y'all was doing something and y'all was that close, you looked out for her, she looked out for you. Nowadays it's a dog eat dog, a sister eat sister. She could be doing the same thing you doing, and y'all supposed to be uplifting each other, but one of them tearing the other one down. So there's no loyalty. There,
mm.
there's also no. I won't say it's. You said you had to say something else right there, like not loyalty, but it was something else. We don't have enough trust in ourselves to trust other women,
Mm.
and that stems from the childhood of most of our black women or women in general, because they don't ain't got no color nowadays. It don't matter.
That's true. That's true.
So it don't matter if you were a young woman, and just like Miss Signa Uno, her mama instilled things in her that she carried on from generation to she carried on. Her mama put things in her, and she put things in her daughter that was gonna put her daughter's gonna put things in her daughter. So they went generation to generation. For
Mm-hmm.
Ty, it was something different. Her mama taught her this, and that's what she has to go in and pour into her daughter. As far as my mom, she poured whatever she could into me, and I'm looking to pour something brand new into my daughter because it's not conducive for me. So if we learn how to trust ourselves and our intuition and our gut, because we feel it's not something told me to do that. No, it's your intuition. It's your intuition. It ain't something that just came out the sky. It's your intuition, and you should trust that. So and that's a couple of things that I think that's missing in the community. As far as there's no loyalty, there is no community. Again, we already went through the community part. There is there's a lot of competition where we should be together. So I think it's a little bit too much competition, and that I think that comes from the testosterone of being independent.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because for me, I grew up around boys, so being around women, I think anyway, was a singular person. She was not a person, and a lot of female, and even with the guys that I grew up around, that's just how it was. You know what I mean? So for me, the relationship I have with my mom does affect the relationship I have with her now to some extent because I have me, and that's the all. Now, to say I have more relationships with males, with females, it was just, and like she said, it was a and for me, it was competition. I really wanted that. And the women, it made me stay more to myself because I'm like, all right, well, if my mom is like this and this is how the men are, really, who can I trust? I'm gonna have to trust myself with every single thing, and that is a lot because it's a village out here. But as you can see, like she said, there is no loyalty because people don't even know how to be loyal to themselves. They think loyalty, all of these things, and to me, is loyalty is being able to have a conversation with you and be my authentic self and know that number one, I could be myself, I could be safe. You know what I mean? Because all of the things that I've been through and all of the things that I have learned, I am teaching to my daughter because she is a truth of every single thing. So, me, I would love to have that village. And I am in a space where I'm opening myself, but I know for sure I'm not fully open to that because I had not, all I had experienced competition and belittling, just, and I have love too, but I was definitely so deep in my own thing, I didn't even know how to receive that. So, with y'all, listening to y'all, because it just allows me to open myself up more and to put myself more in spaces where I can share with women and be able to see the information as well.
Awesome. Beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful.
I think it goes back to being or having the capability to be authentic. There's so
Mm.
much plastic and fake and
Woo.
it's literally unreal. We've gone away from being a vessel to being a sieve. We now just
Ooh.
filter through information and hold on to little bits and pieces that we want to keep or that we want to reflect or that we want to put out there versus literally being authentically yourself. Everybody cannot be shaped. Kim Kardashian isn't even shaped like Kim Kardashian. Okay?
No.
Real talk.
They got so many layers of just fake. There is no reason why your morning beauty routine has got 15, 27 steps on it, and that's before you can even get off your face.
You ain't
Mm.
even got to your hair yet.
You ain't even got to the hair yet. You know what I'm saying? And look, the Lord has blessed me with multiple generations of different ethnicities. So I don't have a lot of problems that people have with their hair. It is what it is. But at some point, enough is enough. I just, Lord, these hairdos, this glue. Who puts Gorilla Glue in their hair thinking it's okay?
First of
Like
all,
it's gonna preserve your
trash.
hairdo. Just look. Stop.
Trying to do a
Just stop.
trend.
You need to,
Trash
like
is
you
gonna
Listen,
said,
fly
look in
away.
that mirror and just know this is what the Lord has given you to deal with. This is you. This is what you got to work with. Okay, you ain't working with. Ain't nothing wrong with Miss Clairol and Dark and Lovely and
yeah,
all. Ain't nothing wrong with
yeah.
none of that. Okay, but you,
Oh my
you
God.
perpetrating a
Oh my
fraud.
God.
Who are you perpetrating a fraud to? Who
Yourself.
are you being fraudulent to? Literally.
Yourself.
So why would you sit here and lie to yourself? If you cannot show yourself the truth, tell yourself the truth, you are the problem.
Mm.
Say it for the two
You're the
times in the back.
problem. You want to own that? You probably don't want to own that, and that's okay if you
Ooh,
don't want to own that right now. But reality will kick you. It will come back around. You can deny it, but that's a revolving door. It's going to swing back on the back end. It's going to swing back.
What with you?
So,
yes.
and,
Yeah, for sure.
and the thing is, if it don't swing back on you, it's gonna swing back on your next generation. You're gonna see your kids
Yes.
doing things extra. You got
Yeah.
a daughter that's 14 that wants to wear foundation, and she got palettes of colors that don't even really exist. Just why? At 14, you look. You ain't even experienced nothing yet at
You can't
14.
even wash your
You,
tail good. You talking about putting on some foundation.
where are you
Wow.
going to school? Why?
Miss
School
Sigma
don't
Uno,
start
can we
till
put in
7.
accountability?
All means, by all means.
Oh my God, we hate that word accountability.
What?
Jesus
Hey,
Christ.
Why do women hate that word? So you wanna elaborate on that?
oh, I can hate it. I
Go
relish
ahead,
in it.
Miss Sigma. Go ahead.
I relish in that because I know what my responsibilities are. I know what your
Okay.
responsibilities are. When you fall short and I'm picking up stuff, I'm not throwing it against you, but I'm gonna need you to pick up something else down the line.
Whew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you fell through on me on this one, but hey, I picked up this piece. Can you pick up this piece somewhere down the line?
Somewhere
I
down there.
mean,
Down there
somewhere
with you.
down there, just so we can stay on schedule to get to our end result.
Yes.
Okay, we all going to the same place. Let's not make unnecessary stops. I'll swing this
Mm.
bag, you swing the next one, or I'm gonna push it out the way, and you're gonna be upset because you're gonna expect it to be picked up.
Look,
But if you left it there,
expectations.
whose responsibility was that? Mine?
Mm.
Was that not your bag? My bag, your fault? No.
Word like that. But sisters,
I
we
like
really
that.
gotta be
I may
accountable.
steal that. My bad, your fault. Continue.
Now we just really have to be accountable, especially like, and I'm speaking for like my generation. I'm 31 years old. Like, uh, I'm not speaking for all of us, but it's a lot of us, and it's all generations. We'll just leave it for us. But we gotta be accountable for our actions. You can't say there is no good men out there, honey, if you are not putting that love and that respect. How Miss Signa Uno said it earlier. If you're not giving it to yourself, you can't give it to somebody else. You can't be,
That's
oh
right.
my God, I want the man of my dreams, but you a
And
shitty
you be
ass
that man's
female. Come on.
nightmare.
Are you kidding?
You can't be out here doing just as bad as a man and talk about ain't no good ones out here. This what? If you can't write a list and talk about the man that you're looking for and then write all the requirements, it's all type of videos out there to show you. If you can write a list of everything that you want in a man and everything that you got to be to have that man, and if you ain't got that whole list, You need to go
I'm
ahead
gonna need
now.
you. I'm gonna need you to stop writing a list about the man you want and write the list of what you have to offer.
Whew. And if it don't match up, then you
It
got
don't.
work to do,
No,
sis.
it's never gonna match up. In all honesty, it's never gonna match. Just
But
No.
never
at the
gonna
end
match.
of the day, being accountable, also understanding your worth and your value is that as well. Because
Hmm.
people tend to think that because they're going through things, they're not of value, and that's true either. But that this thing, you're never going to match up because you're in different places in your life, and if you matched up, then where would we be? There's the level of growth, there's always a level of learning, and that is probably the word for me right now is accountability. Because if I can't take my own stuff and be able to look myself in the mirror, how I'm going to turn around and tell somebody something? How I'm going to tell my daughter something and then step back and do this other thing? So,
Hmm.
yeah, that's a big one for sure.
Yeah, and even when I say it match up, and it just clarify, when I say match up, if you're not giving qualities to build that man up, that's match up. Whether
Yeah,
whatever you're doing as a woman, are you complimenting him? Is he doing the same for you? I'm not saying it's going to match up and it's going to be A1, because I think we get these lists confused as everything on this list should be as on this list, when that's not going to be 100% the case. What I'm saying and what the point of view I'm coming from is that what value are you pouring into that individual, and are you able to pour value? Are you able to receive value from where you are?
true.
That sometimes we want to jump into a relationship at different times in our life, and we don't even have a great relationship with ourselves. Saying that some experiences catapult that relationship with yourself, so those experiences are needed.
Very
In the
true.
same sentence, what are you able to give and receive? So no, every matchup, because you're two different individuals, it's all about the complementary relationship.
Yeah.
Like in the last live that Mr. Sigma Uno was talking about, he went through these relationships. He said y'all went through these relationships and y'all came back together. Those things that y'all had to learn and experience to get to where y'all are now, to be able to love and
Hmm.
cherish each other and grow. But that
By
didn't
all
happen
means.
in 5 years. That didn't happen in a year. That took time.
Oh, oh, it took quite a while because like, he went through the stuff that he went through, and oh Lord, when I say some unnecessary stuff, I mean unnecessary, but it was necessary for him, right?
Exactly.
And on my end, I was like, I already know what I have to offer. I already know who I am. I knew how I was groomed. I knew not only what I was groomed, but I knew what I wanted different based on the relationships that I had around me.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, I mean, my grandmother was married. They were married. She was 14. She
Hmm.
died at 80 something. They had been married
Mm.
the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So, it wasn't no downtime. He went into the military. He went to college. They had kids. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So, uh,
Wow.
I
Wow.
saw that 50s version of a marriage. I saw my great grandparents. I saw the slave version of a marriage and what that looked like, right?
Mm.
So I saw the progressions. I was like, okay, I see how that turned into this and this turned into this and so on and so forth. My parents weren't married. Well, they got married, but ultimately divorced twice. Why would you marry the same person twice? Lord, I don't know. Just pray for me. So I I made a conscious decision that knowing where I come from, and when I got married the first time, I knew where he came from. And Lord, in my infinite wisdom, I got all of this stuff in my rucksack, right? I, in
Ah.
retrospect, it was the dumbest thing ever, but it made sense at the time. It did. Because if you've got everything and you've got this friend who has absolutely, I'm not going to say nothing, but the equivalent, you know what I'm saying? You come from the house places where the houses are still on stacks. You know what I'm saying? And I come from all these foundational pieces. Guess what?
Mm.
You barely graduated from high school. If you graduate from high school, I'm already in college. My career path is already set. You're a great person outside of all the physical, tangible things. I don't need the tangible things. I know how to obtain all the tangible things. Come along with me and let's go to a place far, far away, right? No, not at all. Not at all. When you tell somebody that you can go to a car lot in the late 90s and get any car you want to get, and they come back with a 1985 Cutlass Brougham, you got to know that you've made that's not a wise decision. You know what I'm saying? But you, you can't be or have the ability in front of you, somebody giving you advancements, and you want to stay in the house with the stacks.
Exactly.
Those two things do not mesh. They do not go well together if the person does not have the mindset to go places and do different things, right? So the ability to not only meet somebody where they are,
Mm.
but to be able to effectively communicate that this is where we are, or this is where I am, this is where you are, this is where we want to go, and collectively have some type of a plan prior to any form of advancement is conversation that should be had before a relationship
Yeah.
is even had.
Right.
And
Say
before
that
it's
for
even
the
had.
people in the back. Say that for the
Because
people in the back.
you don't, I'm even in friendships, that's how friendships are built. That's how you figure out who's good at what in your community. What is it that you do? What is it that you like? What is it that you're good at? What is it that you're achieving or would like to achieve? What are you studying? Where are you going? Right? Because if you're going to Washington and State and I'm going to Florida, we ain't meeting in the middle nowhere. It just doesn't work. Right? So these are things that, yeah, both ends don't go towards the middle. These are
Exactly.
conversations that need to be had. We can have a friendship and I'm in Washington and you're in Florida. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. But as far as a building a relationship and a core community with other individuals, whether it be a person that you're going to be mated with or somebody that's going to help your advancement, these are conversations that need to be had. Communication. And it's not that, everything ain't for you type of deal. That's not it either. Because one of us could be an excellent herbalist, right? I don't necessarily need to be an herbalist, right? But if, pray tell, I don't know, your kids are trying to go to college and ain't nobody in your family ever been, guess what? Hey, I've been to a few of those. I've got a few kids that I've gotten to get there. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else might be good at banking and investments. That might not be my strong suit. That would be Mr. Sigma Uno's strong suit. Ultimately, if you communicate with enough people that are trying to have some kind of forward momentum, you will create a community where everything that you need is within this community. If I don't know it, Ralph know it, Diamond know it. You know what I'm saying? Each of us would have each one bring one. You don't
Yes.
necessarily have to teach one, but it's about connections. And the only way to know if you guys are compatible or connecting is to have these conversations.
Mm.
Okay. Let's move into this next segment of this evening. And we asking the question, are women afraid of love? Anybody?
Oh no,
You
love
kind
me. I'm great.
well,
Wow.
we know
Yeah.
you're gonna go. You wait. You hold on a minute. You hold on a minute. Lady, anybody else want to go? I'm gonna do like I would do me. You wait a minute. You wait a minute.
No, he didn't just shut you down, Miss Uno. He
Yeah,
just said,
hold on a
hold up.
minute.
Hold on a
Are
minute.
women afraid of because she gonna go? She gonna
I'm about
go.
My
to go.
Lord.
Better believe she gonna go. Are women afraid of love? Today, the indigenous woman, the woman that's going through silent emotional wars, are they afraid of love?
Go ahead, Miss Chai.
Ooh, I don't, For myself, I would have said I was afraid of love to an extent, and there was a piece of me who didn't really understand love because I hadn't been loving myself. I have
Mm,
been carrying a lot of things. I have been carrying a lot of other people's things, and I was carrying responsibilities. So that's how I was moving through life. It was about survival. So love was not what I thought was love, and what I understand love to be now is two different things. um, I'm sure there are women that would say they are afraid of love, but if they're saying that they are afraid of love, that means that they are afraid of loving themselves. And that's the more scarier part. Because if they're afraid of that, then that means that they're holding so much inside still, and they're not sharing it with even themselves. So afraid before I would definitely say yes, because my true definition of love was so tainted by so many different things. I didn't really get the core of taking to myself, the way I talk to myself, the way I treat myself to understand that that is love, and that is how I'm going to admit it out, and that is how I'm also going to attract the people that are going to love me as well in my village, my tribe, and to be able to show it to my child, but mostly to myself. So, I would like to hear what the other ladies have to say on that one.
Yes. I'm going to say yes. For all women, no. Um, and I'll say, that because there are some women out there that understand true love. But most of us, and I would say most of us, because I had to look at my face, I had to look in the mirror and say that I was afraid of love. Because if I wasn't afraid of love, there's a lot of decisions and choices that I put myself in that I wouldn't have put myself in. Now I'm not negating for the women that they don't know and they're naive, but for me, I knew, and I still made choices. So to say that I still made choices even though I knew better, that's not loving yourself. If I'm going to sit up here for women, and I would say, especially for women, that maybe in that type of lifestyle, you can't say I'm a goddess and I love myself if you're continuing to put yourself in these situations. Um, so it's more of a spiritual thing that we have to understand with love, because a lot of what we call love, majority of us in society, is a conditional love. It's conditioned. It's not actually unconditional love, because love has no conditions. That's why they call it unconditional love. Like nature is the very example of unconditional love, because every spring you got growth, you got opportunity for a new, but then in that anew you also have an opportunity for this rain. You also have an opportunity for these storms that could do some damage. At the same time, they could promote growth. So love is not just going to hurt you, and that's what, like Miss Chai was saying, we've been so accustomed to thinking that love hurt. Like I had a young man say, black people love like that because it was a couple going back and forth, and they were aggressive with each other. What we see mostly in today's society, and that's not love. That's conditional, and that's based on what you believe love is. And I think that if we really look in the mirror and accept the fact that we really don't know love and open ourselves to love, that's when we will really understand love. So to answer that question, I think a lot of us are afraid. But as my dad said so many times, that my biggest fear is my greatest strength, which is love. And I'm learning that every day.
go get them.
Listen,
Oh, Lord, from arranged marriages to child marriages to marriages by choice. Again, I've been exposed to all of them. Love as it came together in all forms. Um, love boils down to being a choice. You choose whether or not you like yourself. You choose the things that you like about yourself or don't like about yourself. You make those adjustments and changes based on that. Am I afraid of it? No, but not at all. Not at all. And the reason I can say that is because even in self loathing, there's still that light at the end of that tunnel that is love. There's something about, I'm not going to say self shaming, but some people have it in their mind that they have to point out all the negative things that they have to change in order to become something that's lovable.
Mm.
And that is so not the case.
Mm-mm.
So I guess the question boils down to is do you love yourself enough to have some kind of overflow? Can the love you have for yourself flow into somebody else's life?
Mhm.
Can the love that you have for yourself be that light at the end of the tunnel for the person who's going through some form of self-loathing, self-hate, lack of self-appreciation, lack of self-care, lack is it can your love be their lack? Can your lack be their love? Love is reciprocated no matter how you look at it, whether it be from a mother to a child or a child to a mother. They don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
They just know that it's a necessity for them to be up underneath you. You can't
Mhm.
go to the bathroom by yourself. Why? Because I need to be with you. We do not need to be separate. We are
We
we
are
are
one.
one. And that's from the earliest child to,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even just children. My my youngest child has this dog that she rescued out the middle of the road that will not let her go to the bathroom by herself. Why? Because he knows he doesn't go to the bathroom by himself. And she watches over me when I go to the bathroom to make sure nothing happens to me. So I'm going to watch
Wow.
after her. Right? It's reciprocated. They don't know why they do it. They just know that they know they need that security. Now, as an
Mm.
individual, you know that you need some form of security, right? Whether it comes from yourself or it comes from an external thing, right? You don't go into a house and leave the doors wide open and expect everything to still be there. Not in this day and time, right? Because the community, the outside world has changed, right? So, since the outside world has changed, you need to make those adjustments to make sure that you still have security, right? And what that is, as far as your home is concerned, is a locked door. For your physical being, it doesn't matter if there's a locked door there or not. There's some things you're going to do for yourself to keep yourself straight, to secure yourself. That is because you love yourself. And you know, without certain things, without breath, without the blood pumping through your body, the life is no longer existent, right? It's not that you love oxygen, it's not that you love air, it's that your body automatically knows what it needs. It's going to take that breath. It doesn't matter how long you try to hold your breath. You can hold your breath till your ears turn blue. Your body's still going to force you to take that breath.
Mhm.
It's going to happen whether you want it to or not. Why? Because your body likes life. It loves movement. It loves being where it's at, right?
Wow.
You don't have to tell your heart to beat.
Beat heart.
You know what I'm saying? Wait, don't skip, don't skip. I need you. I need this one beat. No, it's gonna do that, and it's that it'll even stop as you sneeze just to make sure. Hold up, we gonna hold up. Go ahead, sneeze. Okay, we back because your body knows that's what it's needed to live,
Mhm.
right? If you can't look yourself in the mirror, look. Lord knows I love me some me, and I wake up in the morning. I look crazy. I look crazy in the morning. Hair, just too. Okay, crazy, crazy, right? But I know what it's going to take to make myself presentable, not only to me, but to what happens outside the door, right? Because for me, Since I'm connected to another individual, I know that what I put out there is a direct reflection of the man that I'm married to,
Exactly.
right? His love overflows into me. So I'm not gonna go out there and be some bitter, hateful. What you can't. You can't be in a happily loving relationship and be out here looking like Cruella Deville, killing
Who?
puppies and making coats. You
Like I
Um,
said,
Cruella.
no
you
way.
can't do it. You can't do it because
Let me try
if
it.
that's your reflection, then you're living a false narrative. There's something that's
Exactly.
not right.
Hmm.
It's just not possible. Could you do it? Yes, but you'd be perpetrating a fraud somewhere down the line.
Hmm.
so let me ask a question, ladies. This is the last question I have before we go into closing remarks. Based upon the dysfunction that you all see, and y'all see it from different perspective, different vantage point, different age group. As you're looking at the dysfunction of women today and men when it comes to relationship, what would you share about relationships now that could be beneficial to a man or a woman, but particularly tonight we're talking about women.
I'm gonna go last. I'm just saying that because I'm the youngest one. Just throwing that out there.
The youngest one always go first. You the baby.
Woo! We gonna go last though. Today.
Well,
We
we're
gonna
gonna
flip
start
that
it
bad
off
baby. And I only say that because in respect, I have not had a true relationship. So I can only give what I know from where I am. But I know
with.
these two young ladies have had relationships. So
So that's
as
why
from
you go first because yours gonna be the shortest.
I'm not with y'all right now, Diamond.
know yourself,
I'm just
ladies.
I, I'm
Know
just
Okay,
yourself.
how
I'm
about you
done.
squeeze in the middle? How about you go in the middle?
No, Mr. New he done sit up there and do all that.
hey
Know
look.
yourself. Wait,
Bam.
Oh, there you
There we
go.
go. Boom. I would say it's a combination of everything we talked about. It is the healing of yourself. And it is also wonderful when you're able to communicate well with yourself. And if you do have a partner in your life where you're able to communicate well with them. Because a lot of times I know for myself, I didn't even know there were things that were still affecting my life until I had a relationship with someone. And I was entering into having them be around my child and other things. And then things would trigger me and I didn't even really know. And then there were some things I kind of knew, but for me, the biggest thing is communication and healthy communication, being able to really be authentically yourself because there are not a lot of spaces where people can genuinely be themselves and feel like they can show a person all facets of themselves and not feel like they're judged or be in that space where they're not even judging themselves. That's why I say the healing is a huge thing and really truly understanding that like Miss Sigma Uno said, it's like breathing. Love is something that your body requires. It's something that your spirit needs, and you shouldn't have to think about it. It's something that you should be doing. So, love yourself, heal yourself, listen to yourself, and listen to your gut. Listen to that spirit that's speaking to you. Because a lot of times we brush that off, as Iman said, as oh, something told me something. No, it was your spirit. You know what I mean? And understanding that at the end of the day, no matter what, when you wake up, when you're sleeping, when you the next day, whatever, it's you. You are what you have. So take care of yourself because you can't give something great to somebody if you're not giving it to yourself. And that's just the truth of the matter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Let's
it's
go,
me.
die.
It's me. Okay.
Trash talker. Trash talker.
I get it from I get it from my dad.
For my
So
for
You know
my
what I'm talking
dad,
about.
yeah, from
honest.
my dad. But like I said earlier, the only thing that I can give the advice, for females or males, especially I mean, it's either one because, like I said, I haven't been in a long, extended relationship or somewhere I could build or just experience. So the only thing that I could say in this perspective is educate yourself and know who you are. I've been told that for 10 years, and I swear I've been sitting up here like, oh yeah, I know who I am. No, no, no. So please get to know who you are and what you are here to do, and then you'll be able to meet whoever you meet where they are. It's not going to
Right.
be perfect. It's not going to be goddamn on peaches and cream. It's not going to be these videos that you see on goddamn TikTok and Instagram that they met and they go run off and be with each other. It's not like the stories, okay? Take that time for yourself so you can know what you giving to somebody else. Because sometimes we jump in things and we don't know what we giving to somebody. That's all I got.
All right, all right.
I guess my suggestion would be for men and women to take a self inventory, right? If you are unsure that love is for you, you have love to give, you need love in your life, turn you into a business, right?
Mm,
Take an inventory of everything that is keeping your life going. Take an inventory of what the things that you would like to add to your life. What new products do you want to offer, right? Is that something that you can manifest yourself, or is that something that you're going to have to order in from an outside supplier, right? Um, and literally run you like a business. You need to make sure that you've got inventory. You need to make sure that you got power, you got utilities, that you have sustenance in your life. You need to make sure that there's somebody to work. If you open 24 hours, you need to make sure you got something for every shift.
mm,
Whether that be your work life, your personal life, your meditation, your self-care, whatever that looks like, you need to make sure you've got all those ducks in a row, right? And then once you got those ducks in a row, look and see the pieces that are missing. Is that a piece that is missing because of something that you did not introspectively look at? Is it something that you overlooked that you are supposed to possess? Or is that something that somebody's supposed to add to you?
mm,
Mm.
Um,
mm,
but that first part is to definitely know yourself, take that self inventory, and make sure that you're running a business and not the city dump, because the city dump is a business too.
It sure.
mm,
And if you want to be the person that collects all the garbage,
mm,
you can position yourself to do that,
Oh goodness.
whether it be accidentally or on purpose. That's why you need to take inventory. How many of those bags did you pick up that belong to you? How many of those bags did you just pick up because it was in the way? Did you have
mm,
to pick it up, or is it something you could have pushed to the side and kept moving?
Mm.
mm,
Literally, from the smallest thing to the largest thing. Are you fulfilled in your work life? Are you fulfilled in your personal life? Is there something missing? Is it something that you can tangibly see or manifest? Because you cannot find joy in another person. You cannot find
Preach.
fulfillment in another person. You cannot, another person cannot make you whole. Okay. A relationship is not 50-50. Love is not 50-50. Love is 100-100. A relationship is 100-100. And when you don't have that 100 and you're on 80, hopefully you hurt yourself with a person who can turn around and give that 120 so you actually can still be 200%.
Mm.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
But that comes with, again, a personal inventory, having those conversations. I took my inventory. Did you take your inventory? What pieces are missing? Do you see those pieces in me? Is that something you believe I can offer? Right? Especially if it's not something that is on my list that I'm offering. Do you see
Mm.
something in me that I have not seen in myself?
Mm.
Again, and this is not just a relationship to be with somebody in marriage. This is a relationship as far as a communal relationship,
Mhm.
right? Um, there's some things that I cannot do. I love myself and I am in all my greatness. But I'm not running a marathon, but I have no problem supporting somebody who can, that actually likes to do that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So position yourself not only to be able to not just love yourself, to be able to have somebody receive your overflow and be able to receive somebody else's overflow in gratitude and in grace.
Miss Sigma Uno, with that wonderful soliloquy, would you mind just leaving with your closing remarks because you already shared so much? Would you just want to share any way they can contact you, any social media, any final words to the family?
See, I am probably the last of the old school people. You're gonna have to catch me on the side of the road somewhere. You're not gonna catch me. No, for real. I do not spend a lot of time online. I'm a hands-on person. Like I said, I am a person. If you know you're trying to get somewhere and you ain't quite sure how to get there, I will help you find a way to get there. That's just what I do, and I cannot do that sitting online all day. Um,
Check.
I do have a Facebook. Um, I'm not on there often enough for you to leave me a message. My husband and my children are online a whole lot more than I am. However, I have found that when there is a need, people always know how to find exactly what they're looking for. And if they don't know, they got a friend that knows. So
Yeah, yeah.
if you just really, if you really, really got to reach out to me, um, you're going to end up finding somebody connected to me in some form or fashion, because you don't find me on accident. I don't do accidental relationships.
Check.
So, that being said, I'm a very purposeful person. So don't come at me if you really ain't trying to get to where you're going. If you really ain't
Well,
trying to go to college, if you ain't really trying to get a job, don't come at me with no foolishness. I ain't got time for that.
check.
Um, but just in closing, it's always nice to have conversations with people who have different viewpoints from different points in life, um, from different experiences. Um, to have the ability to have conversations with people that are willing to learn and grow with you. Um, I count it all joy.
Blessings. Blessings. Who want to go next on their closing remarks? Oh,
Well, I just want to say blessings and very happy to be here because for me, this is something totally out of the box for me. And I'm sure I'm going to have so many more thoughts after this because I do now. But this is me getting my feet wet, and I appreciate that. I appreciate being able to have a platform where we come together, and there are people from different walks of life, and we are in a space of growing and healing. Because for me, there haven't been many spaces where I could be myself, where I could talk about things of the nature that we're talking about, or to even feel like I wanted to open up myself to other people. So I count it as the city leader said, all joy, seriously, because we need. We really do need this. This is part of the village mentality right there. So
you
thank
want to
you.
drop your business in?
Ooh, yes. Good bird cleaning, and you can find me on Instagram, or you can find me at modern.isis.79. Lessons.
Say that one more time for the people.
Yes, it's good bird cleaning. And if you want to reach me, you can reach me at goodbirdcleaning@gmail.com, or you can reach me at modern.isis.79 on Instagram.
All right, all right, all right. And last, Kalima.
But not
It's
least.
it's been a blessing to be here with you guys. To be here with women that for with different perspectives that can see the different vantage points where we all still come together as one and we can see everything that's happening together. I appreciate this. This was something that was out of the box for me as well, cause social media. Yeah, I don't do it a lot, but I'm coming out my shell and starting to be a butterfly. So thank you again for having me here. Miss Sigma Uno, we got to get together for that day that we talked about. Bow.
We
But
go,
you can always
we
find
gonna
me.
we gonna talk in a few seconds. We're gonna talk when it's all over. Would you mind leaving your information on your tarot card?
I will.
Yes, please.
So you can reach out to me on Divine Calamar Readings Canva site. You can go on my TikTok. It's Divine Calamar Readings on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. I also have my site and my link in my bio in Instagram and TikTok if you want to catch a reading because I got them for you. But thank you again for having me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was fire, fire. And I thank you, ladies, for giving up your time today, just to share with the world what it is that some women go through and how you can overcome and what you all overcome and how you dealt with that and the jewels that were dropped tonight. You know, really that self inventory is a really high thing. I think even for men, sometimes we don't even do a good self inventory when it comes to relationship and things of that nature. When it comes to business, when it comes to what it is to really, set a principle and foundation for our family. So I think that was really high on that level right there. And I just really want to say thank you all once again for this moment. And with that being said, this has been another episode of Talk That Crap. You already know what it is. Peace, love,
Line
and
of haters
light.
observe and not to support, to discourage. Vision so passionate it's disturbing. Create a rise, always positive surge. Cosmic folks see emerges.